HOA Karen's laugh was a chainsaw ripping through the quiet of my neighborhood. Her voice barking orders nobody asked for. She'd waddled down the street, her floral muumuu flapping like a warning flag, pointing at untrimmed hedges like they'd personally insulted her. Last summer, I left for a 2-week trip to visit my sister in Oregon. My little bungalow, tucked at the end of Elm Street, was my sanctuary. No HOA. No rules. Just freedom. I'd opted out of the neighborhood association years ago. A fact HOA, the self-appointed queen of the cul-de-sac, conveniently forgot. She'd been eyeing my place like a vulture, muttering about my unkempt lawn and tacky mailbox. I thought she was just talk. I was wrong. When I got back, my front door was ajar. The lock jimmied. My heart sank as I stepped inside. My living room looked like a tornado had hit a thrift store, couch cushions slashed, drawers dumped, and my vintage record collection scattered like confetti. In the backyard, my vegetable garden was trampled. Tomato plants snapped like they'd been personally betrayed. Worst of all, my prized ceramic gnome, Gary, was gone. Gary wasn't just decor. He was a gift from my late grandpa, chipped nose and all. I called the cops, my hands shaking as I dialed. Officer Daniels arrived, a lanky guy with a notepad and a tired expression. "Any enemies?" he asked. I didn't hesitate. "HOA Karen," I said. "She's been harassing me for years about my yard." Daniels raised an eyebrow but jotted it down. Neighbors started gathering, whispering. Mrs. Patel from next door, who'd always been kind, pulled me aside. "I saw her," she hissed. "HOA was in your yard 2 days ago, acting like she owned it." The plot thickened when I checked my security camera, a cheap thing I'd stuck above the porch. The footage was grainy but damning. HOA, in all her glory, waddling through my gate with bolt cutters, a smirk plastered on her face. She rummaged through my shed, yanked Gary from his spot by the roses, and even had the gall to wave at Mrs. Patel's window like she was starring in her own reality show. I was livid, but HOA's reign of terror was just getting started. The next day, I got a letter in official HOA letterhead, no less demanding I pay a $500 fine for violating community standards with my unsightly property. The kicker: HOA claimed she'd inspected my house while I was gone to ensure compliance. She'd broken in, trashed my place, stolen Gary, and now had the audacity to fine me. I marched to the HOA meeting that night, the letter crumpled in my fist. The community center was packed, the air thick with tension. HOA sat at the front, her chins wobbling as she droned on about upholding property values. When it was my turn to speak, I held up my phone. The security footage cued. "This," I said, voice shaking, "is HOA breaking into my house." The room erupted. Neighbors gasped. Some laughed in disbelief. HOA's face turned the color of her muumuu beet red. "That's preposterous," she sputtered. I was protecting the neighborhood. But the footage didn't lie. Neither did Mrs. Patel, who stood up and recounted seeing HOA sneak around my yard. Even old Mr. Thompson, who usually dozed through meetings, chimed in. She tried to find me for my bird feeder last month. Said it was too colorful. HOA's defense unraveled faster than a cheap sweater. She claimed she thought I was an HOA member, that she had authority to enter my property. But I'd never signed up, and everyone knew it. The crowd turned on her, their whispers becoming shouts. "You can't just break into people's homes," yelled Sarah, A single mom who'd been hassled by HOA for her kids' bikes in the driveway. Officer Daniels was there, taking notes. "This is serious," he said, eyeing HOA. "Trespassing, vandalism, theft, possibly more." HOA's smugness melted into panic. She tried to deflect, blaming me for provoking her with my sloppy yard. But the room wasn't buying it. I didn't just want justice. I wanted Gary back. I hired a lawyer, Ms. Rivera, a sharp woman who'd dealt with HOA tyrants before. She dug into HOA's history, turns out. This wasn't her first rodeo. She'd been sued twice before for similar stunts, bullying neighbors, forging documents, even pocketing HOA dues for landscaping. That never happened. Rivera built a case like a brick wall, airtight and unforgiving. The lawsuit was for $1. $2 million property damage, emotional distress, and punitive damages for HOA's blatant abuse of power. The trial was a circus. HOA showed up in a garish pink suit, fanning herself dramatically like she was the victim. She tried to spin a sob story about protecting the community, but Rivera tore it apart. The security footage played on a loop, HOA's smirk burning into everyone's memory. Mrs. Patel testified, her voice steady as she described HOA's trespassing. Even Mr. Thompson took the stand, grumbling about HOA's reign of terror. The courtroom was electric, every seat filled with neighbors who'd suffered under HOA's thumb. When the judge ruled in my favor, the room cheered. HOA was ordered to pay the full $1. $2 million, plus court fees. Gary was found in her garage, chipped but intact, surrounded by other confiscated items from neighbors' yards. She was also charged with trespassing and vandalism, facing jail time if convicted. But the real victory wasn't the money. It was watching HOA's empire crumble. The HOA board ousted her, and the neighborhood started healing. Sarah organized a block party, and we all laughed over beers as Mr. Thompson reenacted HOA's courtroom meltdown. I put Gary back by the roses, his chipped nose a badge of survival. HOA moved away. Her house sold to a young couple who actually wave hello. The neighborhood feels lighter now, like we've all exhaled. I learned something. 2. Freedom isn't just opting out of an HOA. It's standing up to bullies like HOA, who think they can steamroll everyone. Sometimes, karma needs a little push, a security camera, a lawyer, a room full of fed-up neighbors. In the end, HOA didn't just lose her power. She lost her grip on us. And that's worth more than any lawsuit. The end.